Hey, this is Jesse with Create This. So I was trying to film an upgrade of my 6700K Hackintosh recently from El Capitan to Sierra. Every time that I've done this in the past, what I do is I use an Gato Game Capture HD60. It takes an HDMI input, and so I run an HDMI cable from my graphics card on my PC to the Elgato, and then from the Elgato to my TV so that I can see, so that I can make sure that I see what's going on. And then I use this software to capture the process. Now, this time was different. This time there was a 2.5 version upgrade for macOS, and it is billed as being this awesome upgrade. And maybe it is for people with other use cases, but for me, it ended up being a disaster. I lost all of my data. I lost the entire session because the file was corrupted. So I'm gonna try to reproduce that issue here today. And then I'm also going to try to downgrade to the previous version of the software and prove that it used to work with the previous version of the software. So what happens is it works fine. Like right now I can click record here. All right, and we are now recording from my Hackintosh. I can move my mouse around on the Hackintosh and you'll see it moving. All right, the problem comes in when I try to reboot. So in previous versions of the software, I could reboot this machine and you would have a continuous stream of video. So we're gonna restart this now. And I'm also recording this with screen capture, with the screen capture program, so that you can see everything that I'm doing on the MacBook Pro that's actually attached, that's actually doing the recording of the Hackintosh. All right, so we are rebooting. Okay, and we're coming back online. Here's my BIOS post, and there's my boot menu. I'm gonna go into that. Okay, and I'm gonna log in. Okay, and you can see right now that this is no longer live. Okay, I don't know why that happens, but it's no longer live. I didn't ask it to not be live, but suddenly it has buffered things. So I'm gonna hit the live button. So this is what I actually see on the Hackintosh right now, okay? Then I'm gonna go ahead and reboot one more time, just because it seems like the beginning of the video is fine and the very end of the video is fine, but all the stuff in the middle gets like garbled. So I'm gonna restart. Going down for a reboot. And again, this is Game Capture 2.5.1 that we're working with right now. It's still recording. And I've got the commentary turned off right now because I'm using my Scarlett 2i2 for the screen capture recorder. Normally I would have that turned on though. Here's my BIOS post. And again, this live button has disconnected itself. So if we hit live, we can actually see the BIOS post or the bootloader. I don't know why it does that. It's very annoying. Okay, and what I'm seeing on my TV right now is my login screen, but again, the live button has disappeared. It's like every time it changes resolutions, the live button unclicks itself. So we'll re-click it. Okay, and here's my Hackintosh logged in once again. All right, so at this point, let's go ahead and stop the recording. And we're gonna go to edit over here. And this is my recording. I didn't name it anything different. And we're gonna click on ProRes here. And it says operation stopped. So that's exactly what it did to me last time. Let's go ahead and pull this up in the Finder. And I believe it's Sierra Upgrade 2 here. So this is the game data that we actually just recorded. And if I try to play this MP4 file, it says can't play it. Okay, total garbage, right? Let's do another recording. let's just do another test to make sure that we can record anything at all right? So we're going to change the name of this. We're going to call this test 2.5, okay? And let's just go ahead and hit record here. Just do a couple of seconds of live recording. I'll move the mouse around so that we know that that's working. And then we'll stop recording. And we'll go over to the edit screen. There's our test 2.5, and you can see the difference here. This has 11 seconds and this has nothing, right? I can do a ProRes on this, and it actually works. See that? This is really disturbing. And this pops up our thing here, test 2.5. I bet I can play this MP4 file. Yeah, there's my MP4 file. Man, I am so mad about this. I mean, I lost like an hour and a half of recording, at least an hour and a half. And I'll never be able to revert that Hackintosh back to El Capitan unless I like do a fresh install or something. So really screwed up my video with no warning. Okay, so I proved that, right? Now let's install the older version of the software and we'll see if it works with the older version of the software. So I'm shutting down Game Capture HD. Gonna open up, let's see, Game Capture HD60. There we go. Download support. All right, so we're going to download the 2.0.5 version. We're going to see if that works. Oh, and by the way, I'm running El Capitan on this MacBook Pro. This is 10.11.6. All right, so we're going to start this up. This should be the old version. And we're going to verify that this is indeed the old version. 2.0.5, 983. Okay, just make sure that all of this is correct. It is. Okay, test 2.5 Redux. That's what we'll call it. There's no output of audio from my Hackintosh, so I'm getting all this static output here. I apologize for that. All right, so we're going to start recording, and we're going to do a reboot. Going down for a reboot. This is as much to prove to me that the old version works as anything, because I'm going to have to use another recorder if this doesn't work. I'm going to have to totally ditch the Game Capture HD, because this is what I do. I do a lot of this. This is my use case. I don't really use it for recording games. I use it for recording machines. Okay, we got the boot post, BIOS post. There's our bootloader. I noticed that the live button hasn't unclicked itself. That's nice. There is a resolution change. Looks like maybe the live button has unclicked itself. Give it a second. Yep, okay. So that was our first major resolution change. So we're going to click live here. I'll log in. Okay, we'll do this one more time because this is what we did with the last one too. BIOS post coming up. Oh, no, we skipped the BIOS post that time. Okay, so our live button is unchecked. All right, there we are. And we're going to log back in. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes we skip the BIOS post. Okay, so we're going to stop recording here. We're going to go over to edit. We're going to take this Redux one. Look, it says 146, right? We're going to hit ProRes. And it's transcoding. I mean, this worked, right? So this is my use case. Now, I'm a software engineer. I get it, right? Like this is a regression. It's probably not a use case that Elgato tests It's probably considered a fringe case by their development team. But this is what I use the Elgato Game Capture HD for, so I would really appreciate it if they could fix this. I'm also angry that I got blindsided by it, but now that I know that the old version of the software handles this use case properly, at least I have a workaround. And hopefully you as well have a workaround if you're in the same situation that I'm in. All right, it's going to pop up this video, and we're just going to scrub through it to make sure that it's all there. Well, maybe it's not going to pop it up. I'll pop it up for it. All right, so I believe when it transcodes them, it dumps them right here. Yeah, here's the M4V file. I think that's the ProRes. I'm not sure. Tell you what, we'll scrub through. I mean, I'm confident that that worked. We'll just scrub through the MP4 file. As long as that file is good, I can do whatever I need to do later on anyway. So. Okay, so here's the MP4 file. Close that old one. Oop. Not what I wanted to close, but okay. I just ended up closing the Game Capture HD. So yeah, so here's our reboot number 1, logging in, reboot number 2, logging in, and the end. Yeah, so that worked perfectly. So yeah. So I think we just reproduced this issue that blindsided me. I'm glad we did that, and I'm going to submit this video as a support ticket to Elgato Game Capture, and hopefully they can fix this version, or this regression, in the 2.5 version of their software. Hope you found this useful or interesting. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.